Developers should give fans a license to make mods rather than shutting down their work, says Baldur's Gate 3 CEO. No, this is a no from me, fam. And this is really weird because Baldur's Gate 3 has an incredibly large modding scene. Now, throughout this, he talks about this is a potential way to get around, IP laws and DMCAs aren't really a thing. I disagree. I think this is a way that you can nickel and dime creation club them and just straight up control and own and censor what they create. I get the impression that his heart is in the right place with this one. But no, this is a fucking bad idea.
Also, with the way that he worded it too, it's in contrast to the contrary. Compared to the contrary of doing that. Why don't you give them a license instead of fucking DMCAing them?
Or you just don't DMCA them.
Yeah, just leave it be. That's the best option.
Nice.
And
honestly,
I think there is a way to get companies to stop doing that. But it takes a long time. It takes a long time and steady pressure, which people just choose not to do. Or you get lucky and a company operates in a better way.
Modding goes a long way to extending the longevity of a game. Skyrim has thrived for over a decade thanks to mods. The classic Doom games are as relevant today thanks to countless fan-made expansions, which Bethesda recently brought to the console. And despite radio silence from Valve for over a decade, Half-Life fans have feasted on unofficial remakes and incredible story-driven spin-offs, with Valve even permitting Crowbar Collection to sell Black Mesa on its storefront. But not every publisher celebrates mods and the positive impact they can have. Take-Two, Nintendo, and Capcom are the three that come to mind, which have taken down several ambitious fan-led projects, even videos of mods. That's more of a Nintendo thing. While the reason isn't always clear, it's really assumed it boils down to IP law. I will add just greed and general retardation. With publishers treating these community ventures as copyright infringement, they could potentially harm the brand or compete with official products. Okay, that one's Activision, that last there. Larian Studio CEO has a solution to these concerns. However, you could just say, hey, I think what you're doing is really cool. Here's a license, and that solves it. This is what happened with the Stardew Valley mod on Baldur's Village, which received a DMC notice from Wizards of the Coast. That's the easiest way of dealing with it if you're a company, especially in games or in any entertainment where you have a group of people that spend, I don't know how much time creating something in honor of your game, especially in another game. He went on to say that he has nothing but love for the modding community, arguing that developers should go as far as to applaud their efforts, which is why he and Larian brought official mod support to Baldur's Gate 3, allowing even those on console to enjoy the community's work. I mean, it's a passion. It's a word of mouth from a marketing point of view. And if it's good, it's a contribution to the entire game's ecosystem. So yeah, I think those are really good things to happen. Okay. I don't think anyone's going to argue with him that mods are like a great way to extend the game's lifespan and how it really can have such a positive impact. Saber Interactive with Space Marine 2 just said, look, we know you guys are trying to mod the game. Give us a little bit of time and we'll give you some official shit to work with. And everyone was like, yeah, okay, cool. But the problem with all of this, though, But the problem with all of this, though, is while it's okay to allow people to mod your game, it's a whole other thing to say, hey, maybe if you guys have a license to mod the game, that's where there's a big red fucking flag.
Yeah. And the way that he's coming at it, it's not like he wants to see these contracts being made so that people can get the license. He's like, oh, hey, you want to mod this? Here's your N-word pass, or here's your R, here, that's it. He just wants to give, here's your license. You can do it. Go for it. So yeah, I think what a lot of people are worried about when it comes to this is that having these contractual obligations with the licensing rights, and that can basically tie your balls into a sling and put your hands behind, cuff yourself behind, hands behind your back. You're stuck adhering to everything that the developer wants from you. Even you have the license, but can't do shit.
Well, and also there's the whole thing around licenses. Why are these companies going to give the license out for free? Why would they? They want to charge you. They're going to charge you money, and so it's going to fuck over people. Because somebody with money may be able to afford it, but then, like, what are they going to charge money for the mod to make that money back? Because they're going to have to make that money back somehow. Especially if they're dedicating their time and now actual financial, commitment. That becomes a problem. I think his intentions are good, but like the road to hell is paved with good intent. And that's what this is. This would be a worse situation than Bethesda Creator Club or the paid mods on Steam. And I guarantee you that if this ever happens, This could like kill modding effectively. Maybe not for every game, but for a lot of games it would kill it.
It's so weird because like he's already got all the pieces in play. He goes, we have official mod support. We've brought it over to consoles as best we can. What he should be saying is he should stand up there and go, hey, you people that take down mods, you motherfuckers need to be more like me, right? Instead of going, what if we just start licensing shit out? Fuck that, man. That's a terrible idea, dude. In fact, I dare say that that's only going to encourage more piracy on your game as well, man. People do like to spend money on things they like to officially support. There's no problem with that, okay? And as much goodwill as Baldur's Gate 3 has within the modding community, if they were to start handing out licenses, well, then I dare say a lot of that goodwill will go, and pretty quickly, man. People just don't like to be constrained artistically and shit. Like, imagine you're like halfway through some crazy mod where you go, I've just come up with a whole new overhauled campaign, right? Oh, but I didn't have a fucking license to do it, so they've gone and shut it down. Whereas this time, 6 months ago, they wouldn't have cared and probably would have put it on the fucking front page.
Yeah. Or they revoke the license.
Yeah,
because they'll have conditions. Yeah, they'll have conditions. They can revoke the license whenever. Yeah, so they revoke the license, and now your mod's gone, or your license expires, and then it's gone. Like there's so many problems with that license. It would never work.
Not even considering the preferential treatment that can come into play with this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, someone could be on the good books, whereas someone could be on the bad books, despite the quality of their work. You'd be like, I just don't fucking like
also,
that.
Last Toxic Mail brings up a good point, too, that publishers could possibly also put restrictions on said licenses if granted. So that could cause...
You can do this, but you can't do this, or this.
And if the company, like if the publisher is selling licenses to mod, they're making money off those mods. And then if somebody does some sort of like, I don't know, let's say Thomas the Tank Engine train in Skyrim replacing the dragon. Well, the owners of the Thomas the Tank Engine IP now have grounds to go to, let's say, Larian Studios or whoever was the publisher. I don't know if Larian published, like self-published or what, but let's just say it was, and say, hey, you're making money off of our IP. You sold them a license, and now they're, you know, or even if you give them a license, you're literally giving them a green light to do this. There's grounds for them to get possibly sued, or at least get tied up in the courts, which is a ton of fucking money. So leaving it the way it is the best way possible. And it sucks because some companies try to fuck over mods big time, but it's the best option. Sometimes the best option isn't even good, right?
Well, the CEO does have a record of getting up on stage and just calling out the whole industry. You know, he did it at the fucking Game Awards, and right? But this one just seems really weird and out. Like I really get the impression, like you said, Cream, he means well, but maybe he just didn't think it through. Like there's probably someone going up to him right now and saying, "You're fucking retarded. You didn't think that through, did you?" Like just knowing what he's like and heard the things he said before, this one seems
it sounds more like he's like considering a lot more of the business side, the businesses, rather than the consumers for this. And it's like I said before, it seems like he's not talking about like freaking making these huge big contractual obligations. He just wants to give it a pass, but that's it. It's very naive because that's not what the developers want. They want to have this level, at least a certain level of control of their IP, because it's their product. They should have the right to have that level of control on their product, on what goes on, if they are going to have some license going on with that. But if there's not, this freedom. Yeah, why didn't he just say, just leave it, do it the way we do? Why don't everybody just do it the way that we're doing it?